It's been well documented that the Golden State Warriors have coveted Lauri Markkanen for nearly 2 years, making several trade offers to the Utah Jazz for the All-Star. However, the Warriors failed in their pursuit of the sharpshooting forward due to their reluctance to trade Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski. Could the Warriors regret not pulling the trigger on a trade for Markkanen? Bleacher Report's Greg Swartz made a case for the Detroit Pistons, a team on the rise, to add Markkanen to their roster and inch a step closer to title contention status. The writer floated a trade scenario that would see Utah receive invaluable draft assets. Pistons would receive Lauri Markkanen. Jazz would receive Ron Holland, Tobias Harris, Marcus Sasser, 2026 first-round pick, unprotected, 2028 first-round pick, unprotected. How the trade helps both teams. With the Jazz seemingly building around their young core of Ace Bailey, Keontae George, Walter Clayton Jr., and Walker Kessler, they may be best served to part with a 28-year-old Markkanen and instead invest in more foundational pieces. Swartz made a case for the Jazz to add Holland, 20, to their young core, while explaining why it was imperative for the franchise to tank the 2025-26 season. The young roster isn't ready, and there's real motivation to be bad, he wrote. Utah's 2026 first-round pick is owed to the Oklahoma City Thunder, but it stays with the Jazz if it lands in the top 8 picks. If not conveyed next year, the Jazz will no longer owe a pick to OKC. Trading Markkanen, the team's best player, is essentially guaranteeing Utah its 2026 pick in a draft that will feature BYU star freshman AJ Dybantsa. The Jazz also get 2 unprotected first-rounders from the Detroit Pistons starting next summer. Pistons ready to take next step? J.B. Bickerstaff's Pistons were the biggest surprise story of the 2024-25 season, as they upped the win tally from 14 to 44 within a year, emerging as one of the East's hottest young teams. Furthermore, they pushed the New York Knicks to the brink in their first-round playoff series despite the injury to blossoming star guard Jaden Ivey. Could the addition of Markkanen help them take another step in the 2025-26 season? Markkanen, 28, is in the prime of his career and joins a potential Pistons starting 5 that consists of Cade Cunningham, Ivey, Ozar Thompson, and Jalen Duren, with Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson, Isaiah Stewart, Paul Reed, and others off the bench, wrote Swartz. In the East, this is a group that can now challenge the Cleveland Cavaliers and New York Knicks for a spot in the finals. Markkanen is just what Detroit needs as a floor spacer between Thompson and Duren and a safety valve for players like Cunningham and Ivey to deliver the ball to. The writer also explained why the Pistons could use Markkanen's long-range shooting. Of the 16 playoffs teams this past season, Detroit ranked 15th in made threes and 14th in accuracy. Markkanen would do wonders in the Pistons' outside attack while serving as a big cutting target for the young guards on this roster to find. The Warriors are likely monitoring the Markkanen situation, given that the Finnish star has been putting up monster numbers in the FIBA Eurobasket exhibition games. The Golden State Warriors have had one of the most successful runs in NBA history over the past decade. Much of that success has come from defeating the Houston Rockets, a team Golden State knocked out of this past year's playoffs. In what is a new iteration of the Warriors-Rockets rivalry, Houston All-Star Alperen Sengun recently called out the former champs for their fouling and complaining in the first-round matchup. In response, Draymond Green sent a message to Sengun in just 3 words. "Hold that L." Green wrote in a reply on Threads in response to a post spotlighting Sengun's comments. The Warriors beat the Rockets in 7 games during the postseason. Over the summer, Houston has transformed their team with the addition of Kevin Durant and other rotational pieces, while Golden State is the only team in the NBA yet to add or resign a player. Draymond didn't hold back. Sengun was speaking on a podcast interview when his comments on Houston's series with the Warriors came up. "They're a super experienced team," Sengun said in the interview. "They also fouled a lot. Fouls just don't get called much in the playoffs. You get what I'm saying?"
Yeah.
They were whining the whole series. "That's a foul." They'd complain. "We couldn't say anything because that's not what we do." Rockets All-Star calls out Warriors with bold claim. Along with his first reply, Green went back to give a few more thoughts on Sengun's comments on their series with the Warriors. "That's a tough thing to say after you lose," Green also wrote. "You have to win to say stuff like that." According to research done by Yahoo Sports, the Warriors had 150 fouls called in the series, compared to 124 for the Rockets. The biggest discrepancy came in Game 6 of the series, with Golden State getting 12 more foul calls than Houston. Unpredicted praise from the Warriors star. While Green's latest replies towards Sengun's comments don't reflect anything out of character for the four-time champion, earlier in the summer, he did take time to praise one of their players after their post-season matchup. No one gives him credit, but I thought Jabari Smith was really good in that series, and I thought Jabari Smith worked his way back from almost going the wrong way as the number 2 pick to hold on, I can compete at this level, Green said on his podcast. I think he worked his way back and will probably be in the starting lineup for this Rockets team moving forward. He also gave positive reactions to the moves made by Houston over the summer. Anytime you can add a Kevin Durant, it's an upgrade. I don't care who you are, Green added, while also commenting on Fred VanVleet's contract extension. Well-deserved, the way I saw him lead that team in the playoffs. Green also saw potential in Sengun, though it was a bit before their latest beef. I expect Sengun to make a big jump after the playoffs he added. I expect Tari Eason and all those guys to make jumps, so it'll be interesting. Golden State has never lost to Houston in the playoffs, with 5 matchups coming since 2015. They have won 20 of the 30 total games and have only been behind in a series once. The Warriors will play the Rockets for the first time next season in San Francisco on November 26. The Golden State Warriors haven't done much this summer, but a perfect addition could be on the horizon. This offseason has been stagnant for the Warriors. Still waiting on the Jonathan Kuminga situation to conclude to add free agents such as Al Horford, Golden State is in a tricky situation. While Kuminga has held up the offseason in San Francisco, the Warriors could still make a move for another intriguing free agent. While the Warriors already reportedly have some deals lined up, a 3-time All-Star is still on the market. Does Ben Simmons make sense in Golden State? In a recent article from Bleacher Report's Eric Pincus, he touted the Warriors as a potential landing spot for Ben Simmons. The former number 1 pick is still looking for his next team, and Golden State could be the perfect fit. As Pincus explained, Simmons wouldn't necessarily be a great fit alongside Draymond Green, but he would be a phenomenal backup and could help the former Defensive Player of the Year stay fresh for the postseason. Considering Simmons' playmaking ability, he could also be great for feeding Stephen Curry and some of the Warriors' other shooters. The biggest wild card in Simmons' potential arrival in Golden State is Jimmy Butler. The two played for a half season in 2019 in Philadelphia, and the fit wasn't always perfect. Still, Butler has praised Simmons for his abilities and getting through a tricky situation under Brett Brown that season. Considering both have put Philadelphia in the past, there shouldn't be any issues in reuniting the All-Star duo.